Sometimes I think people do watch Legal AF and some of the commentary that I do, especially the newsmakers in cases that involve some of my reporting. There is a new motion that's just been filed against Alina Habba, effectively, by a criminal defendant in New Jersey who's claiming, as I suggested, that since Alina Habba hasn't been properly appointed to the role of U.S. Attorney for New Jersey, no, Donald Trump had to do that workaround where he withdrew her nomination from the Senate for the permanent position of U.S. Attorney of New Jersey because she'd never get it, and then had Pam Bondi try to appoint her as a special attorney under the constitutional powers to appoint her indefinitely to act as if she were the U.S. Attorney of New Jersey. Did you follow all that? And I said, if that is overturned, if I were a criminal defense lawyer, I would bring a motion to have the indictment overturned, anything that she touched, Alina Habba, with a pen, I would challenge as being invalid, as being what we call void ab initio, void as if from the start. And now we've got it. Tom Marigliano, defense lawyer in my home state of New Jersey, has filed just such a motion in favor of his criminal defendant client. What happened next? Are you on the edge of your seat? Are you on Legal AF and subscribed? Hit the free subscribe button. All right, here's what happened. Here's what's going to happen. He filed it in front of the judge that he was in front of, a Biden appointee in New Jersey. Most of the judges in New Jersey, which is a blue state, are appointed by Democratic presidents. But because it's challenging Alina Habba and because the 17 regular judges of the U.S. Federal District Court in New Jersey all voted against Alina Habba. Remember last week, they decided to properly, under the statute that applies, to not extend Alina Habba's tenure as acting interim U.S. attorney another 120 days. Instead, put in a career prosecutor for all of 18 hours to be the U.S. attorney in the interim, while Donald Trump tried to promote somebody else and get him through a proper Senate confirmation process. Donald Trump didn't like that, so he had Pam Bondi fire the 17 judges' choice, which was not named Alina Habba. Fired that person, not only Desiree Cook, not only from the role of acting interim U.S. attorney, but fired her for good measure as the first deputy assistant U.S. attorney working under Alina Habba. So she lost her career prosecutor job because she had the courage to accept the position being offered to her by 17 federal judges. Why am I going on about 17 federal judges? Because they're all conflicted out now about Alina Habba. At least that's what the chief judge that sits over the appellate court, the Third Circuit that sits on top of New Jersey. You might have heard about the Third Circuit lately, because Donald Trump nominated his former criminal defense lawyer, number 2 in the Department of Justice, Emil Bovee, all-around Trump supporter, to be a Third Circuit Court of Appeals lifetime appointed judge. And he'll get voted on this week. Same circuit. So the way it works is if there's a conflict where all the judges of a certain district are conflicted out, it goes up to the chief judge of the appellate court that sits over that court, this case, the Third Circuit, who picks another judge from within the circuit. And the winner of that is a judge who sits in the Middle District of Pennsylvania, who is now Judge Brand, who is now taking over the case as if he were sitting in the New Jersey District Court. Did you get that? So the main argument raised by Marigliano on behalf of his client is that Alina Habba is invalid, is illegal, is unconstitutionally appointed. He only recognizes the person that was picked, Desiree Grace, by the 17 federal judges. And that's the person who should be the acting interim U.S. attorney. And his indictment should be dismissed or put on hold until they get the proper person in there. I love this motion. I think everybody who is convicted or indicted with a indictment that reads the office of Alina Habba, U.S. Attorney, District of New Jersey, should challenge her ability to do that. Now, there is some case law from the 1990s that dealt with a Puerto Rico federal judge that was appointed for an extended period of time. And the First Circuit, not the Third Circuit, but another circuit, the First Circuit that deals with things like Puerto Rico, they ruled no, even though that person, Mr. Gill, like Alina Habba, was not really properly appointed. The people under them, the assistant U.S. attorneys who are prosecuting the cases, take their power directly from the Attorney General in Washington. So it's a wash. That's the First Circuit. I'm not sure what the Third Circuit's going to do. I'm not even sure what Judge Brand's going to do. I know what he should do. He should find that everything that Donald Trump's unconstitutional abuse of power when it comes to giving Alina Habba, his office wife, a job, should be opposed and should be called out for what it is, an abuse of power and unconstitutional. So my gold star of the day to criminal defense lawyer in New Jersey, Tom Marigliano. Come on, Legal AF, let's talk. But this is what should happen as a payback to Donald Trump for trying to illegally appoint people. Will it? We'll have to wind its way through the judge in the Middle District of Pennsylvania. Back, if people don't like that, it would then skip still over New Jersey federal judges up to I think it would come back, of course, to the Third Circuit Court of Appeals. Can you imagine if by the time it came around, Emil Bovee is on there? Now, normal people, I'll end the hot take this way, normal ethical people would recuse themselves from because he works with Alina Habba. But since Donald Trump is purposely picking Emil Bovee for this lifetime appointment because he wants a Trump supporter on the third, and he wants a DOJ supporter for all of his crazy, depraved misconduct, who knows if Emil Bovee is going to be, or is going to recuse himself. There's no more questions that he can be asked in his process. The Senate has closed the doors to future debate and is going to vote on this on Thursday. But I'll keep an eye on that too as well for you. You're here, do something for me, hit the free subscribe button. No outside investors. This is the way you keep us on the air. You show us love by hitting the subscribe button. So until my next report, I'm Michael Popok. I'm Michael Popok, and I got some big news for our audience. Most of you know me as the co-founder of Midas Touches Legal AF and the Legal AF YouTube channel, or as a 35-year national trial lawyer. Now, building on what we started together on Legal AF, I've launched a new law firm, the Popok Firm, dedicated to obtaining justice through compassionate and zealous legal representation. At the Popok Firm, we are focused on obtaining justice for those who have been injured or damaged by a life-altering event by securing the highest dollar recoveries. I've been tirelessly fighting for justice for the last 35 years, so my own law firm organically building on my Legal AF work just feels right. And I've handpicked a team of top-tier trial fighters and settlement experts throughout all 50 states known as big auto injury attorneys who have the know-how to beat heartless insurance companies, corporations, government entities, and their attorneys. Big Auto's attorneys working with my firm are rock stars in their respective states and collectively responsible for billions of dollars in recoveries. So if you or a loved one have been on the wrong side of a catastrophic auto, motor vehicle, rideshare, or truck accident, suffered a personal injury, or been the victim of medical malpractice, employment harassment or discrimination, or suffered a violation of your civil and constitutional rights, then contact the Popok Firm today at 1-877-POPOK-AF or by visiting my website at www.thepopokfirm.com and fill out a free case evaluation form. And if we determine that you have a case and you sign with us, we don't get paid unless you do. The Popok Firm, fighting for your justice every step of the way.